Hello, everybody. My name is Amit, and this is my brother Shachar. I'll be doing most of the talking. Go ahead. So let's see. Plantly is an investment advice service that, I guess, simply aims not to suck. Unfortunately, we still suck a bit, which is why we're in beta. But we have 12,000 beta testers, amazing testers who are helping us push forward and launch soon. So I'll give you a bit of background. I'm actually a coder and usability designer, and although I have analytical skills, I'm terrible when it comes to finances. In fact, investing always felt to me like a combination of going to the dentist and gambling or something. But fortunately, this guy, he's our family CFO, and he always worries that I should be investing my money in something. And he shows up, and I usually don't listen to him, but he shows up one day with his 5 plans. But instead of showing me the usual distractions, bonds, and all that stuff, he just says, just concentrate on the risks and choose a plan. And oddly enough, it worked. Somehow I engaged with the numbers for the first time instead of them just flying over my head. And I chose a plan. And as a usability designer, I got curious about this. And so I showed it to a bunch of friends here in Brooklyn who seemed to have a similar reaction. And so we decided to get serious about it. And we're going to show you a couple of years of work. This is Plantly, risk-aware investment tool. So here's how it works. You choose a plan, one of 180 plans that we have for you. Each one diversifies differently between stocks and bonds. Now, we only ask you 4 questions, and you're going to see how these questions filter down the plans. And so the first question might be is the amount you'd like to invest. And notice how we're already down to 30 plans out of the 180 based on this criteria. The next criteria is the amount of time you'd like to invest for or leave your money untouched. And here are those 5 plans, very similar actually to those 5 plans Shachar showed me back in the day. And here's where the risk awareness comes into play. So you can choose one of 5 risks. I'm going to choose the 6%. And the first thing that pops is the bad news. You might lose up to $2,400 on your $10,000. There's like a little bit of chance, one chance that might happen. But most likely, you'll have this big spread. And then you need to decide if this is the right plan for you. But one thing we've noticed is that users really care about what might happen if they need to move their money out sooner. And so we've extended the engine to any point throughout the investment term. And what we often see is people would, for example, go to 2 years even if they're thinking of investing for longer. And they would say, oh, the risk is still high because the plan hasn't matured. And usually they would go and they bring the risk down. And we see all these type of behaviors that show us that people are really engaging with this in a constructivist manner. Another thing we do is we show people historical data on each plan they choose, 10 years worth of it. But interestingly, what everybody cares about is what happened in the financial crisis. And so we let them touch the financial crisis with just one number and see exactly what happened to the plan they chose during that crisis. Let's take a look at what the plans actually are. So here's a plan. This plan has 4 baskets, and we actually give the exact symbol to buy. And this is important because we're not a broker. We're actually broker agnostic. It's very important for us to stay objective in that matter. So what we do is we allow people to invest with any broker they want or the broker they love. Now, one thing that we've noticed is that broker fees, especially today, is becoming a big point for people. And many people are confused when it comes to understanding how those fees affect or do not affect their investment. And so what we've done is we've taken this problem and turned it into one more level of customization. So you let us know your broker fees, and we're going to re-optimize the plan specifically for your broker. And sometimes the diversification may change more or less. You can also check to see if the historical and the forecast data changed because of this. And this helps you sort of get a handle on what it really means to work with your particular broker. We actually don't want you to invest immediately. We want you to track your plan first. And so I'm going to show you a bunch of my tracked plans. This is the first time we're showing this page, and we're very happy. And this is really the point of Plantly, so we'll spend a bit of time on this. So here's a plan. I have a bunch of them. Here's my first ever plan. And this is a real plan, real numbers. We have thousands of users who are tracking plans like this. And the first thing you'll see is, first of all, the same prediction graph, the same forecast graph. And then also at the bottom, the diversification and exactly how each ETF is doing. But this is what we're really happy about, because from the beginning, we wanted to see the prediction and the actual plan on top of it. It was really important for us. And, anybody could go and take sort of a hockey stick normal distribution. That's what it's called? Yeah. He said something. Normal distribution graph. But how comfortable are you to show this to your users throughout the investor, and the investment? And we weren't. So we actually spent a lot of time. He spent a lot of time figuring out how to make a financial engine that would make us feel comfortable showing these type of forecasts. And one of the things that allows us to do is feel comfortable showing our specific plan moving across that. In this case, you see how it's doing really well, but it could have been doing really bad. We have these users who show up and are very excited, and we tell them, look at the big picture. You know, you're doing well, you're doing not so well. The kind of conversation we want to have with you is, you're just getting started, you know. And another thing that is very important for our users is to compare to indices they're familiar with. So, for example, here is, well, what is this? This is a 6% target return plan. And here's the Dow Jones. So, you know, it's not really a good comparison, but you can go and compare, for example, to an 80-20 or a typical 40-60. And again, you know, like right now we're doing a little better. If Finovate was around this time, we wouldn't be doing as well. But the point is that our volatility is low, which is, again, something that Shachar worked on for a long time, which makes us feel comfortable pairing it with this prediction engine. So the last piece of the puzzle before we step out of beta is, again, helping people invest with whoever they choose to, right? And so we're doing this in a couple of ways. First of all, we have an API that we're happy to announce today that will further help people extend Plantly's plan across the web. And also we have our own sort of unique way of holding people's hands. And so, again, once you decide you want to invest, you can tweak your broker fee if that has changed. You can even go ahead and if a lot of time has passed since you've started tracking, you can even go ahead and optimize the plan for today's conditions and compare between the new plan and the old plan. And we kind of hold your hand throughout this process. And so we're very, very excited to roll this out soon once we get that little piece of the puzzle done. I just want to thank everybody for listening. Thank you for the Finovate team for bringing us over. And we'll see you outside. Cheers.
Thank you.